everybody, and welcome to the Facebook Live. This is so awesome. I am so excited about what we're going to share tonight. And as many of you know, my name is Dr. Tanda Cook. I'm a naturopathic physician. I'm an independent consultant with Arbonne International. My intention for this live chat is to give you a very brief, I'm going to try and keep it very brief, overview of how Arbonne's 30 Days to Healthy Living works, why you would do it, who would benefit from it, what sets it apart from other programs, and some of my favorite food pearls, tips and tricks to help you along the way with them in the process of cleansing and healing. Now, as many of you know, naturopathic physicians are trained as general care practitioners, and instead of becoming experts in prescription medication, symptom management, and surgery, we become experts in getting to the root cause of disease using alternative therapies like homeopathy, herbal remedies, lifestyle coaching, IV therapy, water therapy, and have extensive training in food and nutrition. So as you can imagine, as naturopaths, we have this huge toolbox to pull from and how we can treat people and conditions. And I have found my expertise in food. So, and I am not about counting calories, lots of you know this about me, and I'm not about dieting. I teach people about food and how it affects our health positively or negatively. Because we aren't plants, we don't photosynthesize, right? Although I know many of you wish we could. We have to consume things from the outside world to make our bodies go. And we're omnivores, which means we have to consume a variety of things in order for our vessels and our bodies to work optimally. And if you put garbage in, you're gonna get garbage out. And when you set your body up with the right information, only health, vibrancy, and vitality can show up. So let's talk about that word for a minute, health. What does it actually mean? Often when I ask people this question, I get the absent of something, like, oh, I don't have back pain, or I don't have a migraine. The absence of an ailment, an ache, and which is true. And I was asked this question in medical school. This question was launched into a room of 120 medical students, and there were crickets. Like, nobody really knew. It's so easy to define disease. But if we're talking about this thing called health, we should probably know what it means. And to hit my definition of health home, I start by asking this one question. How do you light a dark room? Now, it's not a trick question, and most people say, turn on a light or use a candle, open a window, use your iPhone. The point is there was no anti-darkness machine that got stuck to the side of the room and then all the darkness was sucked out and then ta-da, there's light. You had to do something and add something. So with light, darkness cannot exist. Now, this is how I view health and disease. With health, disease cannot exist. Health is the body's homeostasis, right? Which is sort of a mouthful and reminds me of 8th grade science. So health to me is balance and freedom. Because when you set the body up under the right conditions, it will hold on to what it needs and let go of what it doesn't, so that you are then free to go out and create the life that you were meant to create. Arbonne has set out to help you create this with the 30 days, the skincare, and the business. So quickly, a bit of my Arbonne background. Arbonne found me in 2010 by way of ENVP Lori Muirhead. I had never heard of Arbonne. I was not familiar with network marketing. And as I learned about the business model, I was hooked. And then as I looked deeper into the products, I was so impressed with Arbonne's philosophy to pure, safe, and beneficial, and how the products were being formulated to truly add health, which is what we just talked about, to our busy lives, to wake us up into what's working for our bodies and then what's not, so we can put our best self forward. And the 30 Days to Healthy Living was launched in 2011 when I was a brand new consultant, and I was sitting in the nosebleed section of the MGM in Vegas. And so they launched this, and I'm sitting there and I was super skeptical, not only about the formulations, but really about the whole mentality around cleansing and detoxing. Because many of us, when we hear these words, we think starving, fasting, extremes, or cayenne pepper, olive oil, and lemon juice. This is not at all what I discovered that day with Arbonne. The philosophy around the 30-day program was to do a few things, okay? Number one, focus on whole foods eating. which is what I was already teaching as a naturopath. Number 2, focusing on avoiding the inflammatory, triggering, and addictive foods, specifically gluten, dairy, soy, sugar, alcohol, and caffeine, which is what I was already teaching as a naturopath. And then focusing on the importance of absorbing our foods. And Arbonne said this so perfectly. They said, we're not what we eat, we're not what we eat, we're what we absorb. Now, I want to talk about this briefly. What that means, because a lot of times we'll throw terms around and not really understand the why around it. And so what that means is my experience of people in North America is that we're pretty chronically stressed. Now, the stress response, if I see a tiger, I want to fight or flight, right? And the body sends out all of the information, the epinephrine, norepinephrine, and takes all of the blood from the digestive tract and puts it into the tissue so that I can run or fight. Because what does the body not want to be doing when it's stressed out? Right, digesting. That's like the last thing on the body's mind. It's like, oh wait, this is a hamburger. I'm gonna totally focus on digesting that while I'm trying to run from a tiger. That's not the case. So in acute situations, stress, that's the stress response, and that is incredibly healthy, and that's what needs to happen. Now, the issue is that most of us, when we even hear the word stress, we get stressed out, and we're eating under conditions that are stressful, right? Like driving in our car and watching the news while we're eating, or eating in a job that we don't love. And so what happens is the body still perceives that as a stress, and so the stress response is still happening in the body. And so what happens is the blood is still being shunted from the digestive tract. And so even though you're putting things down the hatch, it doesn't necessarily mean that all the blood is, bathed around your stomach and your intestines for you to actually absorb it properly. So when Arbonne said we're not what we eat, we are what we absorb, it blew my mind, because not a lot of people are talking about that or truly understand that, which is why these products are so incredibly awesome, because they're formulated such that they're really gentle and are easily absorbable, because Arbonne knows that we're all stressed out. And not that stress is bad, because we'd all be dead without it, and there is a time and place for us to be, consciously eating, and a lot of us don't necessarily have the opportunity to do that on a daily basis. So then number 4, the products were formulated to help the organs of elimination. So these are the main doors or the main drains of the body. They're the lungs through breath, the GI and liver through feces, the skin through sweat, and the kidneys through urine. Those are the main ways that the body is allowed to let go of toxins. So then number 5, Arbonne talked about the analogy of the bathtub, and the drains of the tub are the organs of elimination that we just listed. Now, I was taught this in medical school. Imagine this, your body's a bathtub, and you turn on the faucet and you're adding things like food, air, water, thoughts, and things that you're putting on your skin. And all of this stuff, the body has to sort through and hold on to what it needs to build you, and then let go of the waste. Now, just for the sake of argument, I'm going to say that the majority of humans do not support these organs of elimination, the doors of the body, the drains of the body, on a daily basis to assure that they're functioning optimally and at their best. So in theory, what would this look like? So supporting the kidneys is drinking half your body weight in ounces of water a day. And what counts as water? Water. And then the lungs, to support them, we need to be taking at least 100 conscious deep breaths a day, those big belly breaths to support the lungs. And then the GI and liver, we need probiotics. We need to be eliminating 1 to 3 times a day. And we need to be chewing our food, ideally 31 times. I know a lot of you cringe at that. I tell my patients to chew their food 31 times. How many of us chew 3 times and swallow? This is, again, going back to we're not what we eat, we are what we absorb. So much of our digestive system starts here, and the importance of chewing. And then the importance of eating whole food. So that's how you support the GI tract. And then the skin, we're ideally sweating on a daily basis. And if you're using products, choosing the non-toxic formulations. So those are some pretty basic ways of supporting those organs. So can we assume that most of us are not doing these things, at least on a daily basis? So then what happens to the drains of the tub or your organs of elimination, right? They get clogged and completely overwhelmed with toxins, and then the toxicity continues to build in the body, and then we experience symptoms like PMS, weight gain, hormone imbalance, hypothyroidism, fertility issues, migraines, back pain, joint pain, osteoporosis, thinning of the hair and nails. I mean, the list can go on and on. Now, as you know, if we keep doing what we're doing, we're going to keep getting what we're getting. So the toxicity continues to build, and the body has to then do something with it. Now, where does the body not want to stick toxins? Right, in the vital organs. They're called vital for a reason, like the brain and the heart. So the body came up with a super awesome plan because it wants to survive. It said, let's create an inert place to keep toxins away from the vital organs. Let's stick it in, I don't know, adipose tissue, AKA fat cells. Fat is like bubble wrap for toxins. And again, if we keep doing what we're doing, we're gonna keep getting what we're getting, and the toxins or the fat cells will continue to build in the body and wreaking havoc on all systems, triggering chronic inflammation and eventually reaching the vital organs, and then most likely ending up with some sort of diagnosis. So what do we do when we get caught in this? Now, before Arbonne came into my life in the 30-day plan, I was seeing this pattern in my patients, and I was advising them to avoid foods that were triggering chronic inflammation, fat storage, and eventually disease. But I was also finding that when I would look at a mom who's single with 3 kiddos and say, hey, you know what? You should avoid gluten, dairy, soy, sugar, alcohol, and caffeine, she would look at me like, absolutely no way, that's impossible. It was like I had pulled out the rug. Arbonne is the rug. It is a toolkit to hand to people to say, here is a simple, doable plan to put the cereal down, put the pizza down, put the pasta down, for a bit, just at least 30 days, to give your body a chance to clear the smoke out of the room, to take a break, and to say, you know, maybe cheese does affect me in a negative way. This program does not focus on what you can't do and what you can't eat. The coolest thing about this program is it focuses on all the things that you can do and you can eat, and how empowered you can then feel. And it's not about forever. It's not that you can never eat pasta again. It's about pressing pause, waking up into how food may be affecting you. And you know what? In the beginning, we said we are not plants, we do not photosynthesize, that we are omnivores, and we have to consume things from the outside world. So I'm promising you the things that you are putting in your mouth are affecting you in one form or fashion. It's about eating consciously and living consciously. And this is not a perfection game. It's a progression and consciousness game. So how does the plan work? So for at least 30 days, okay, you have a vegan protein powder that serves as a complete meal replacement, and it comes in chocolate or vanilla. And the protein source is coming from cranberry, rice, and pea. Why this is super awesome. It does not contain, so our protein powder does not contain wheat, soy, or gluten, which are still in the top 5 allergens and are still triggering the inflammatory response, which should be a whole nother call about chronic inflammation. And so it was actually incredibly hard for me to find, before Arbonne came into my life, a protein powder that did not contain one of those 3 things. So the fact that cranberry, rice, and pea are the protein source, they're really low on the allergy realm. So they're incredible, almost hypoallergenic. So you can drink the shakes for breakfast, one for lunch, or one for a post-workout. So the protein itself supports our blood sugar and is super easily digested, which is exactly what I said in the beginning about we're not what we eat, we are what we absorb. Arbonne knew this. Arbonne's got your back. So the protein is one of my favorite products. And then some of my favorite things to add to my shakes that I'll do, I thought I'd give you guys some tips. I'll add these superfoods. So turmeric, it's the thing that makes curry powder yellow. It doesn't really, it's kind of a neutral taste, but it is incredibly anti-inflammatory. It's super high in antioxidants. You can add a teeny bit to your shake to just get that extra benefit. Cinnamon is also a super awesome thing to add, especially for people with blood sugar issues. Cinnamon is really awesome for blood sugar. Pumpkin is also a really great superfood. Kale is great to add. Spinach is awesome to add. Avocados for super healthy fats. And then seeds like flax seeds and sesame seeds and some nut butters. Our protein powder tastes amazing. And believe me, I have tried a lot out there. Okay, so those are some of my favorite things to add to the shakes. And then the Plan has a flavored fizz stick that you can add to water to serve as a soda or coffee replacement. And they're formulated with chromium and B vitamins to help support our blood sugar and your adrenal glands. And the adrenal glands are the two glands that sit on top of your kidneys that are responsible for a lot of things: our sleep-wake cycle, our stress response, and our blood sugar handling. So this is incredibly important. The Detox Tea is one of my favorite products as well. I drink that 1 to 3 times a day to support the liver and the kidneys to gently let go of toxins. Now, the formulation of the Detox Tea is extraordinary. If you were going to put me in a room and Peter Matravers, who does all of our formulations, in 2 separate rooms and said, go make a detox tea, we would have come up with the exact same formulation. It's brilliant. Then there's a probiotic that is essential for healthy digestion, gut health, and balance. 80% of our immune system lives in our GI tract. And the beneficial bacteria that live in our gut help us break down our food, absorb nutrients, and they're a key component in our immune system. So I don't care who you are, if you have a pulse, you need to be taking probiotics. Arbonne knew this. Now, are you guys seeing what's happening? So all of these products are lining up with each one of our organs of elimination because Arbonne, I think, knew that our organs needed help. So how they are formulated is to support the organs that are eliminating toxicity in our body. Just FYI. I just love this. Okay, so then there's a fiber supplement, which is crucial for detox and gut health, as fiber acts like a sponge for toxins. So as your body is being allowed to gently let go of toxins, fiber is then there to grab onto it, put it in the stool, and so that you can let it go. There's also a 7-day cleanse used for gentle elimination of toxins through the GI, again, to support the gut and the liver. And then also available are the greens that you can add to shakes to assure you're getting fruits and veggies, phytonutrients, and antioxidants that your body, I promise you, has been craving. And then you can end your day with a whole foods-based meal, like roasted, pasture-raised chicken, smashed organic sweet potatoes, and a green herb salad. And again, with many of these groups that are doing the program, there's massive support out there. Facebook pages and recipes and menu planning and shopping tips, and there's so much there. This program is not only set up to make you and your body win, but allow you to feel the best you have ever felt so that you can get clear about who you are, why you were put on this planet. Imagine not waking up, or imagine not waking up being distracted by migraines and back pain. You can then start to ask questions like, if you could do anything, if you could be anything, what would it look like and whose life would you change? It all starts here. It all starts about saying yes to 30 days that will transform your life and create consciousness about what is going in your mouth and how it is affecting every inch. And speaking of which, I also wanted to share some of my favorite foods to help your body detoxify and heal and cleanse that should be staples to the program and then afterwards as well. So lemons are one of my favorites. Citrus helps the liver detoxify. Beets also have an affinity for the liver and the kidneys. Like I said, avocados are one of my favorite healthy fats along with coconut oil. And then asparagus has an affinity for the kidney and the urinary tract system. Pineapple is also incredibly anti-inflammatory and helps our digestion. Dandelion greens have an affinity for the kidneys, and I do understand that they're a little bit bitter, but you can mix them in with other greens and disguise them with salad dressing, and your kidneys will still know that they're there, but your mouth won't. And then cranberries also have an affinity for the urinary tract system. And then blueberries are another one of my favorite because they're super packed with antioxidants and phytonutrients, and they're low on the glycemic index when it comes to fruit. And then the Arbonne Detox Tea honestly should never leave your cupboard. That stuff is so awesome and it's so good for your liver and your kidneys. This 30 days can transform your life so that you can feel awesome and do life awesome. And I got to thinking the other day, I was asked to share why Arbonne, right? Like, what sets Arbonne apart? And, you know, I talked about the products and how they're formulated and how it supports the bodies in all ways and how they work cohesively as a unit to help all of you in every aspect of your life. And all of that is absolutely true. And I would be nowhere else. And this company is extraordinary and the formulations are phenomenal. But as I really got to thinking, what does set Arbonne apart? And you guys, it's this. It's what this program stands for and the intention behind it. The message is this: wake up. Live an extraordinary life because you can. And that's what I care about. Whether it's by doing the 30 days or using the skincare or making a life with the business, the message that I get from it all is, sorry about that, how amazing you are and that you can do life big, love big, laugh big, and share big. This program stands for a lifestyle makeover, a lifestyle transformation, and a true paradigm shift. The 30-day program isn't about you thinking you're being tortured because you aren't allowed to eat bread, because you can still do the program even if you love bread. And while that may be the case in the short term, the breakthroughs happen in your life when you start to do things that are uncomfortable, challenging, or even scary. So if you hear yourself saying, "There's no way I could," fill in the blank, then all the more reason to do it. Because there is a transformed, awake, light, fabulous you on the other end. And while the destination of life is in every step, and I do understand that, I invite you to get a bit out of your comfort zone. So there's a visual that I love that I want you guys to go grab a piece of paper if you don't have one already and draw this picture. So start with this, draw a circle up in the corner, and then I want you to draw another circle like this. You guys see that? And then I want you to write in the small circle in the corner, my comfort zone. And then in the bigger circle, I want you to write where the magic happens. And then a line in between with fear or challenge or excuses. Because I promise you, busting through that line and busting through the fear, there's a huge, huge aha in you on the other end. So truly, what are you waiting for? Your life is waiting. And now, stay on the line. I am done, but stay on the line because Shayna is going to hop back on to talk about the how and how you can make the vibrancy happen in 2017. Reach your goals, jump into this fabulous thing called life and Arbonne. Thank you guys so much. If you have any questions, just shout on Facebook. You guys can find me on my blog. And it is such an honor to be a part of this team, community, and family. Good night. Mwah!